Another dose of ABL Season 9 coming your way. John Sulit and Marco Benitez bring you the action from Changhua Stadium in Taiwan, where the Formosa Dreamers are about to host the Saigon Heat. And as always, this stadium getting packed by a lot of supporters. It's always so festive when we play games here in Changhua City in Taiwan, and that's exactly the atmosphere that the Formosa Dreamers would want to have as they gun for their third consecutive win. And it has been a while, Marco, since this team was seen by these fans playing, was seen by the ABL playing.
That's right, Judd, and their last game was way back about 3 weeks ago, January 24, where they defeated Macau Black Bears 122 to 116. And as you mentioned, this team always one of the best at promoting and marketing their squad, and that is one of the reasons why they have one of the best crowd bases here in the ASEAN Basketball League. And as you mentioned, they are hosting the Saigon Heat in what is the second and final meeting in this elimination round.
And you saw the team standings. The Saigon Heat, earlier in the season, it was really Formosa and Saigon Heat that was 1 and 2 in the team standings, but the Heat coming off 4 straight losses, and that has brought them down to the 5th seed. We'll talk more about the situation, the team standings, and where these two teams lie in that whole picture. In the meantime, let's meet the Formosa Dreamers.
Are you ready？ 随着我们的音乐脚踏2下，手拍1下。首先欢迎宝的梦想家 Number 7梦想。31 31号宝岛梦想家白色巨塔全方位禁区之主 Willie Artino。Number 14 40号球风彪悍全能移动速度飞快的年轻锋线 Devin Grass。33 33号从1号打到3号180俱乐部成员。Miguel Miller， 继续欢迎德体队23号破坏力十足的梦想新星谢肯尼，最后 Number 6 6号宝岛梦想家后场霸主李雪莉。 Formosa Dreamers Coach Dan Murphy， 教练蔡耀勋、赖柏林，双方球员场中握手致意。Players give me the ring count. Will starts 3 minutes.
And so it's going to be the Formosa Dreamers versus the Saigon Heat. And as we were talking about earlier, Saigon coming off 4 straight losses, the latest of which was against the Singapore Slingers. Actually, in those 4 games, those 4 losses, 2 of those came from the Slingers.
Yep, and in that game they were down by as many as 21 points. Made a late rally in that 4th quarter, but was not able to close it out in a low-scoring outing, as is always most of the time the case against the Singapore Slingers.
Absolutely. Now, for the Formosa Dreamers, they are coming off 2 incredible wins, although it has been a while, as we mentioned. They are coming into this game, coming off a win over the Macau Black Bears, and before that, it was the Hong Kong Eastern that they defeated.
In that stretch of the last 5 games, they've won 3 out of 5. They, as you mentioned, Judd, they defeated the Macau Black Bears, Hong Kong Eastern, and even San Miguel, Alab, Pilipinas in what is one of the Formosa Dreamers, one of the best 3-point shooting teams in the league, and that's why against Macau really had a high-scoring ball game.
And it's, you know, if we go back to season 8 of the ABL, nobody would think that Formosa would be bringing down the giants of the ABL, but that has been the case. Now, Murphy Bernatowski will be crucial if he wants the Saigon Heat to end their slump here today. It was a struggle for him against the Singapore Slingers.
Well, Singapore Slingers always known for their defense, and in that game they really locked down on the imports of the Saigon Heat. But remember, Bernatowski scored his career-high 39 points against this very same Formosa Dreamers last December. But that is the big 3 of your Formosa Dreamers squad. Will Artino will be making a return after 3 games out due to injury.
Incredible numbers you saw there. Malcolm Miller, almost a triple-double against Macau. This is going to be a prime matchup between 2 locals, Chris Durker and Kenny Chen, without a doubt. Some of the significant reasons why their respective teams are having so much success.
Well, for Kenny Chen, one of the reasons why they are able to be so versatile, because he can defend opposing imports who play that backcourt position, while Chris Durker, one of the big guys, one of the X factors, especially under the basket here for the Saigon Heat. So expect him to match up possibly with Tevin Glass and provide a lot of that defense and a lot of that rebounding and second chance opportunities for the Heat.
I'm very impressed though, Marco, with the performance of Kenny Chen in their previous match. Kenny Chen, he first wowed the league with his ability to penetrate and get acrobatic layups, but he shot 5 for 5 from beyond the arc against Macau.
And he has become a really solid perimeter guy who can knock down the 3-point shot, especially that corner triple off of the usual penetration from Malcolm Miller. And more than that, he can play lockdown defense on the perimeter against opposing imports.
Let's lay down 2 very important changes in the lineups, the rosters of these 2 teams. Tian Lei, the former national team member of Chinese Taipei, will be suiting up for Formosa. The last time that he was in uniform for Formosa was back in December 21st when they played San Miguel a la Pilipinas. Now, on the other side, it's the other way. It's a very important guy who's missing for the Saigon Heat, as Kyle Barone will sit out of this ball game. And he will be replaced by an import who has suited up for Saigon before, and that's D'Angelo Hamilton. How do you like that mix now with Hamilton, Bernatowski, and Trayvon Hughes?
Well, that's a solid inside presence, but remember, what you're losing from Kyle Barone is you're losing about 21 points per game, also 13 rebounds per game. D'Angelo Hamilton played 5 games with the Saigon Heat, and during that span was averaging 13.6 points, 7.6 rebounds. So he's really going to have to step up here for Coach Kyle Julius, especially against possibly one of the most solid world import lineups in Tevin Glass, Will Artino, and Malcolm Miller.
Interesting change also for the starting lineup of Coach Kyle Julius, inserting Justin Young, and that is the spot that usually Chris Durker gets, that starting slot.
It's going to be a smaller lineup here for the Saigon Heat. They will look to control the tempo with this pretty much a 3-guard rotation here together with Bernatowski and D'Angelo Hamilton. And he's going to use Justin Young and Tran to match up against Li Xuelin and Malcolm Miller.
Bringing the action from Changhua Stadium in Taiwan. Ball is up, game is on. Saigon first control of the basketball. Hughes, as you mentioned, guarded by Kenny Chen. Young hesitated. Quatran from beyond the arc, it's a miss.
That's one of the things that's going to be key here for the Saigon Heat. Their 3-point shooting will be one of their keys. Together with the Formosa Dreamers, #1 team in terms of three-point shooting in the league.
Here come the Dreamers. Chen getting bumped. Tevin Glass, too deep, too strong, 2 points.
That's great recognition of the mismatch. Tevin Glass seeing the smaller Trayvon Hughes up against him, immediately going to the post. And good recognition to feed it into Glass.
Was that a switch or was Hughes just really primarily on Tevin Glass?
It looked to be a switch with Hughes coming from the help side. Well, that's a nice entry pass there into Tevin Glass.
Recognizing the advantage that they had in that matchup. So it's the Dreamers first to the board, 3-0. 9 and 10 remaining in the first.
And this is what we're talking about. Kenny Chen, primary defender against Trayvon Hughes, gives them the ability to switch, whether it's Chen or Malcolm Miller.
Bernatowski. Oh, he can stroke it for sure. He averages 10 attempts from downtown every game.
Remember in that matchup against Formosa, he had 8 triples en route to 39 big points.
Bernatowski with a steal, leading the break. He gets fouled from behind.
Malcolm Miller losing his footing, but again, the perimeter defense of Bernatowski able to get that steal, and there you see that three-point shot, nothing but net from the wing.
Remember also that when Trayvon Hughes was down with that hamstring injury, it was Bernatowski who really stepped into that Hughes' role of facilitating the offense. He would play point forward, and that's also a large reason why he got the 39 points.
That's right, and you know, see back-to-back threes here for Trayvon Hughes. And remember that game, Hughes fell down to injury in the second quarter of that game. So a lot of people are saying because that game went into overtime, could have been a different result had Hughes stayed healthy.
Another steal for Saigon. They go to Bernatowski again. He's feeling it. Murphy comes up short. Formosa getting the basketball. Kenny Chen attacking using the left hand.
And there you see the athleticism of Kenny Chen, one of the best finishers among locals in the open floor.
He's also tasked with guarding Trayvon Hughes, and he's putting pressure on Hughes for the entire court. But Hughes still able to take the shot. Rims out though.
One of the things that's going to be something that we will try to observe is the number of turnovers for each squad, because these two teams are not really known for turning the ball over at a high rate.
How about the defense, Marco, that Saigon is showing here? A couple of steals. That was a block for Bernatowski, but Hamilton kind of got rejected by the rim.
Way to get back down in transition. Talking about Formosa Dreamers.
Martino uses the glass. And yeah, the Dreamers have found advantage near the basket.
Dreamers not really known as a fast-breaking team, but that time it was a good forward pass to Artino, who uses his body to defend that basketball.
It's cliche when people say, get what the defense gives you, but that's exactly what Formosa is doing here, and they've been successful.
Will Artino, if you take a look at him, physically, he does not look that imposing, but has great footwork. As you see this offhanded layup from Kenny Chen protecting that basketball against Trayvon Hughes.
If you take a look at Tevin Glass on the other side of that transition attack, he actually wanted a lob. He wanted to wake this stadium up. And they were warming up right in front of us, Marco, during the pre-game shoot-around. Layup lines, Tevin was getting up. He was really slamming it home.
He and Malcolm Miller can really get it up there.
But Malcolm Miller now with 2 fouls. See how he's able to balance that.
A little bit of full court pressure for the Heat.
Miller, baseline J, front trims it. 7 apiece for Saigon and Formosa. Hughes. Atokwa, extra pass, Young from outside, Justin Young. That is the 3rd three-pointer for Saigon.
Saigon so far shooting 50% from long distance, and if they're able to keep this rate, Dreamers are going to have a hard time.
Miller crashes. Saigon off to their attack. Hughes now. Bernatowski will try again from deep, not this time.
Dreamers dodging a bullet there.
Now Glass wants to take on Young. Instead, it's Artino who will take a 3 and will make it as well.
And this is the versatility of Will Artino. He's able to stroke it from the outside as well as from the inside. That's going to force Hamilton to really come out on D.
Under 6 minutes to play in the first. Hamilton losing it, recovering, but the defense of Martino was there. Kevin Glass gets past Young. Oh, gets rejected by Hamilton.
Hamilton beating him up top.
No question about how clean that block was. Saigon could not convert. Another transition opportunity for Formosa. Glass gets it. Staying patient this time, gets it over Hamilton.
I like the patience there coming from Kevin Glass. Despite the defense of Hamilton, still able to finish.
Trayvon Hughes misses. Very fast-paced action here in the first, Marco.
You know, this type of pace you might say favors the Saigon Heat because Formosa is a more deliberate half-court type of squad. But so far, they've had the answer.
And they have been doing it from inside and out. Kenny Chen picking up where he left off last January 24th where he knocked down 5 out of 5 three-pointers. We have our first stoppage of the game. A timeout has been whistled here. It's the Formosa Dreamers up 15-10 with 4:48 remaining in the first. Will Artino having a blast here without the guy who gave him a tough time when they first met, Cal Baron. But this time, Trayvon Hughes missing still. That's back-to-back layups that he missed.
Before, I believe that is Chen. For the two Chens, Chen Chinyan, the point guard for the Dreamers, also making his entrance here.
Artino again. Now it's Cheng Wei. Trying to get to the basket. That's the third steal from Bernatowski.
Quick hand there from Bernatowski.
Patran slips past the defense and in with a deuce.
And this is what we're talking about. Saigon Heat love to run, love to score in transition, whether off a 3 or off a layup.
Good response to the timeout called by Coach Kyle Julius. Miller wants it with Glass. That's going to be a turnover. Now Saigon losing the man who usually protects the middle for them in Calvaron. But D'Angelo Hamilton, you can't overlook that guy. That is the 2017 Vietnam Basketball Association Defensive Player of the Year.
And that is why I think with the entry of Hamilton, you do not lose a lot in terms of defense, but I think primarily what you lose is the outside shooting because Baron also gives you that outside stroke aside from his offense inside the paint.
Hamilton out to show that he can provide points as well.
That's a great seal inside under the basket and a nice entry pass from Poitin.
But I get what you're saying with Baron because Kyle Baron is still the second leading scorer of the Saigon Heat. He averaged 20.6 points and also he was the team leader in rebounds with 13.7. Hughes just cannot get his shots to stay down. Kevin Glass wisely seeing that there were many defenders he attacks anyway.
And there you see the defensive presence there of D'Angelo Hamilton. So if you're talking about comparisons, Judd, you might compare Kyle Barone a little bit to Will Artino because of the same, pretty much the same skill set. But Hamilton so far has been on point defensively for the Saigon Heat.
See that inside pass from Quatran. And then the response on the other side by Chen Xinyan getting that mid-range, Jay. Now it's the Saigon Heat with the basketball. Bernatowski, the step back. Another three for Murphy.
That's such a sweet stroke there from Bernatowski off the step back. And you know, Kevin Glass is a respectable defender in his own right.
Miller falling into that trap of, you know, when an opponent hits a three-pointer against you, you want to get that three back initially.
Right away, yes. You know, Malcolm Miller also a great three-point shot, but that was well challenged. Here's that step back. You see the distance or the space that Bernatowski creates. This guy is about 6'8", and he also shoots it left-handed.
And if you haven't played against or you haven't seen Murphy Bernatowski play, he won't initially strike you as the shooter of the squad.
He's built more like a bruiser inside.
Hamilton, lots of contact there, none whistled. Ball, however, will remain with the Saigon Heat.
Looking for the foul there against Artino. A lot of contact, as you mentioned, Judd.
Take a look at it one more time. Will Artino tried his very best to stay vertical. That's why the referees made the decision that there was no foul. Another three-pointer. How many has he taken here in the first quarter? But hey, if it's falling, he's had 3 of those already fall in.
So far, he's 3 out of 5 or 3 out of 6.
Chen to Cheng from the corner. One dribble in, the jumper doesn't go. Miller chases the rebound. Another opportunity for Formosa. 2 minutes remaining in the first. 7 on the shot clock for the Dreamers. Hamilton gets the steal. Quatran locks it up. Oh. And that is a very dangerous foul. Hamilton, the legs taken underneath him.
With the referee signaling for a regular foul.
Let's take a look at it there. It was a very awkward angle, and that's why Hamilton fell.
And you can't say that it was intentional on the part of Chen because he did not see how far behind him Hamilton was.
But Chen Lane now checking into the game. Again, the last time we saw him in a Formosa uniform was back in December.
Yeah, he's only played 8 games here for the Dreamers, but he's also a former national team member. He can stroke it from the outside. During this early part of the season, he had played solid minutes off the bench, replacing Will Artino.
And if you guys were able to notice when Ken Lay's name was called out, when the lineups were being introduced, it drew a loud roar inside the Changhua Stadium.
There's a big following here in Taiwan.
Entry pass anticipated, and a scary fall there for Trayvon Hughes. But look at that guy apologize immediately to the fans.
How about that athleticism there from Trayvon Hughes? Somersaulting over the spectator.
Look at that. He will do it. Yeah, it is a somersault, and he saved himself from injury using that. Also, the fans saved the fans from anything untoward. Trayvon, his team needing some saving at this point. Well, they have done enough to tie the game at 17, but you can tell the momentum mostly with Formosa at this point. Cheng Wei from the corner. 3-ball is good.
And that's the reason why he has been inserted into this game. That 3-point shot of his.
We have already seen 7 3-pointers combined from these two teams in the first quarter alone.
Formosa really focusing their defense on that ball screen for Trayvon Hughes.
Here's Hughes. Gets the 3 points back.
I think Kende releasing a little bit too early there, allowing Trayvon Hughes that open jumper.
35 seconds remaining. in the first quarter at least. Kenley making his move. Hamilton not biting on the fake. Good entry pass, but the defense was really just ready for it.
That was a nice bounce pass there from Chen Lei. The defense, as you mentioned, disallowing Tevin Glass from fielding that pass.
You're right. You know, on that replay, you can tell that the hedge, Kenley recovered to his man too early.
Too early, just a couple of steps too early, opening it up for Trayvon Hughes. About a 3-second shot clock and game clock differential.
Saigon looking to take the last shot of the first period. Hughes guarded by Cheng. Hesitation, gets bumped, no whistle. Chen making his move now. Miller to beat the first quarter buzzer. It will not fall. He's looking for a foul. But these two teams at the end of the first 10 minutes of action knotted up at 20 points each. The game started out very fast-paced, but it slowed down with improved defense towards the end. We have 30 more minutes of action between Formosa and Saigon.
Between
the Formosa Dreamers and the Saigon Heat. The Dreamers looking to get their third consecutive win. It has been a good start for them. However, the Saigon Heat doing enough to keep in step. Marco Benitez and John Sulit here now. Before we get going with the second quarter, we'd like to extend our warmest greetings to birthday boy, Mr. Jericho Ilagan, COO of the ABL. Happy birthday, sir.
Of course, happy birthday, sir.
Miller has yet to score, and he gets blocked by Bernatowski. I'm really impressed with the defense of Murphy.
Bernatowski, quick hands, whether it's out on the perimeter or getting that block up top. As you mentioned, turnovers of the Formosa Dreamers allowing Saigon Heat to come back into this game. 6 turnovers in the first quarter, allowing Saigon to get 7 points off turnovers.
And Miller has really struggled. He has missed his first 5 attempts of this game.
That was great ball movement from the part of the Heat, but everything but the shot with Bernatowski.
You know, on the other side, Trayvon Hughes has also been struggling from the field, just 2 for 9. But those 2 makes were 3-pointers, so he still has 6.
Or triples, so they've connected on 5 triples already here in the first half.
Miller is still looking for his. Had to send it out to Kenny Chen. Chen gets tripped. Hughes leaving it for Hamilton, and Hamilton will throw it down.
The Saigon Heat, one of the best at stealing the basketball, averaging about 8 steals a game. Right now, they already have 5.
They have really clamped down on Formosa. Artino trying to spark something for his squad. Again, you know, Hamilton shows you that you don't need to block the shot in order to stop the attack of your opponent. You just have to put a body in there.
That's right. He's prevented Artino from getting to where he wanted to go and then stayed vertical and challenged the shot of Artino.
And this was the move earlier, but Hamilton being set up by Hughes. Easy jam for the big man. Miller, he gets fouled, and he will take a pair of freebies. Now that's something that could get Malcolm Miller going from the field right now. He's 0 for 5.
That's not a smart foul there on the part of Chris Durker. Got caught partially by that screen of Artino, was not able to control his momentum. And there's that foul against Malcolm Miller.
Miller averages 21.2 points per game, the leading scorer of the Formosa Dreamers. But again, has been limited to 0 up to this point. But he's at the free throw line looking to change that.
The Saigon Heat have scouted the Dreamers well. They know that they like to initiate their offense with a ball screen for Malcolm Miller from the outside. So they either doubled or switched that. And as you mentioned, because they started Justin Young, they're a little more versatile on the perimeter, allowing them to switch those ball screens.
Marco, people always talk about free throws when you're struggling, how important it is to see that ball leave your hands and go through the net.
Right.
For a player, what exactly is it about that?
Well, for scorers, when you keep missing your field goal attempts, you lose a bit of confidence. But once you get your free throw in, as Trayvon Hughes not lacking any confidence today, but once you get your free throw in, if you're a scorer, it just gives you that feeling of the ball going into the net or through the net, which really amps up your confidence.
Let's take a look at this. Look how Hughes will make Lee dance. And one hesitation, the defense was out, the three-pointer was in.
We talk about tightness of handles here in the ABL. Probably two of the best, Trayvon Hughes and O'Darian Bassett.
Absolutely.
In terms of world imports.
But how about Hong Kong too, with that very impressive win the other day. Bassett was out with a hamstring injury, but you know, with Michael Holyfield checking in, it really gave San Miguel Alab Pilipinas a difficult time. Imagine having a 7'5" guy partnered with a 6'11".
That's right. That allowed Deguara to grab 30 rebounds in that ball game.
Hughes taking the steal and the walk in the park. He's pumped up.
Saigon Heat have almost equaled their steals output per game here in the first half alone.
And you can tell that the Formosa offense has become more hesitant with the number of turnovers that Saigon has forced them. 26-22. Heat up. Artino getting bothered. Was looking for a foul. And Hughes was able to throw that off of Miller. It will be Saigon basketball.
You see the front line of Durker and D'Angelo Hamilton as we see this getaway layup from Trayvon Hughes. Just so imposing and just so versatile, especially when you add Murphy Bernatowski, who can defend the post as well as defend the perimeter.
99% of the time, Trayvon Hughes is as chill as a person can be, but there were a couple of times that he felt that there should have been calls and he felt referees missed something. That's why he's so pumped up and had to yell out, "Let's go," after that layup. And he's going, but he's also missing quite badly on that shot.
You know, after 4 straight losses, you really want to take your frustration out on your next opponent.
Miller, no field goals yet for that man. That change is there.
That's what we talked about. After seeing those free throws go in, one time, quick release from the outside.
Either team able to pull away here. 26-25, Saigon ahead. Hamilton, he has that outside shot and he shows it.
So I think he heard what we said, that does not have the outside shot as well as Kyle Barone. So showing us up right now is D'Angelo Hamilton.
Well, in the 5 games that he played for Saigon before this, he was a 33% outside shooter. Another steal for Saigon. And they are really anticipating the passes of Formosa. Hughes gets it up. over the outstretched hands of Miller.
And Dreamers being a little bit careless with that basketball result that has resulted in baskets on the other end.
After an early struggle for Trayvon Hughes, went 2 for 9 to begin the game. He now has 12 points. 6 of those coming very early here in the second period. Glass going one-on-one. Count that as another steal. But the counter theft. Glass going to Artino. Pass was too strong.
And that adds up to the frustration of Formosa Dreamers. That was a 2-on-1 situation between two big men and a small point guard. Talking about Trayvon Hughes, but turnover once again for the guys in white.
And now the Dreamers would want to talk things over. Saigon Heat starting to pull away 31-25, but 5:40 remaining in the second. Trayvon Hughes in takeover mode. Trayvon Hughes really powering his team here in the second quarter. More than the points. He's got 12 already. And in the second period, he's shooting 3 out of 4. How about the 4 steals, Marco, that he has had?
He's really been the jump starter here for the Saigon Heat. And that's why Coach Kyle Julius giving him a blow on the bench with Justin Young and Quatron in the game. They've outscored the Formosa Dreamers so far 11-5 here in the second quarter.
And talking about the lineup of Saigon Heat, they are entering this game with just 9 active guys on their roster. I wonder if that will, build them maybe towards the end of this game. Not at this point, that's for sure, as Hamilton adds 2 to their lead.
But something tells me, Jed, that Coach Kyle Julius probably won't even use all 9 in this ball game.
Miller against Bernatowski. The switch puts Hamilton on him. They want it with Artino. Only 3 seconds remaining on the shot clock. Miller could not bail them out. Quatron up high for that rebound.
Again, in that defensive sequence, the hands of Bernatowski forcing Artino to pass the ball out.
Beautiful spin there for Young, but the shot did not go. Kenny Chen gets it, and the bonus.
And Kenny Chen has shown us consistently he's so good at finishing with his offhand in transition.
And that's what we were talking about, top of the coverage. Save for the 5 of 5 that he shot from 3-point range in their last game. This is what Chen is known for.
That athleticism, the ability to put the ball on the floor, to get up, absorb the contact, and still finish with the offhand.
Looking to spark something for the Dreamers. Could not get the 3-point play though. Off to the other side, Saigon staying patient. Lurker sets the initial screen. Hamilton, another one. Tran tries to throw it up off the glass, no good. For all the success that Saigon has had here in the second quarter, you would think that they have a comfortable lead already, but it's just at 6 points. That's just 2 possessions.
That's right. And with the scoring ability or the offensive power of the Dreamers, no lead is safe here because of their 3-point shooting. Because you have guys like Malcolm Miller, Will Artino, who can stroke it from the outside.
But what changed for Saigon, or maybe for Formosa, that the story flipped, because earlier on it was really the Dreamers that had control of this game.
But I think for one thing, Judge, is that the defense of Saigon really picked up. You mentioned that they're also already close to their season average in terms of steals, but the solid half-court defense, you talk about something like that. Another good stop here for the Saigon Heat.
And that is another jam, this time courtesy of Turker.
That's 17 points from turnovers. Very uncharacteristic of the Dreamers. And you mentioned a three-week layover or a layoff. They could be showing some signs of rust here.
Formosa, where do they go? 7 seconds on the shot clock. Miller passes it in between Cheng and Chen.
And again, normally they make those passes. There's a miscommunication there.
That was a great pass from Bernatowski, setting up that jam from Chris Turker. And again, like you said, that came off another steal. That's 9 total steals already, and they are past their season average. Hughes, hesitation. Out to Turker. Went up, went down with the basketball, and that's just something you cannot do.
Traveling violation there. Easy call to make for the referee. So good recovery on the part of the Dreamers. But so far, it has been all Saigon here in the second quarter.
They have outscored the Formosa Dreamers 15-7. Artino, he has been looking for that foul call. Has been trying to force his way in, but a VBA defensive player has been waiting for him underneath in D'Angelo Hamilton. And for most of it, Hamilton has done a great job. The 10 points that he has already, that's actually a bonus for the Saigon Heat. And imagine having to bump bodies with Will Artino for what already has been about 17 minutes.
That's right.
And that's just his first foul.
So that just goes to show you how solidly he has played defense. Just trying to stay in front, playing physical against Will Artino, not giving him a straight line to the basket.
Hughes gets clipped by Cheng Wei. Hughes save finally.
Not a good foul there on the part of Cheng Wei, especially fouling a three-point shooter. Trayvon Hughes.
I'm a fan, Marco, of how players and of course, skills coaches study the game, and they get to learn how an offensive player can get advantage on a certain situation like that. That was excellent use of the step back, created the separation, so when the defense tried to recover and close out, that's where he got fouled.
Sometimes you do not have to be the fastest or the quickest. As you see, like for example, Trayvon Hughes, although he's very quick as a player, but I think more than his quickness is it's really his shiftiness that allows him to get that type of a space.
There used to be a time where the most important athletic gift in basketball was the ability to jump as high as you can. But now you're right, it's shiftiness, it's explosiveness. That's the name of the game right now.
That's what we've seen from the likes of James Harden, who does not wow you with his ability to jump out of the building, but really the ability to use his body, draw contact, and then of course the shiftiness to get separation.
Absolutely, and Chen Chinyen starting to get frustrated because, sure, Trayvon Hughes did not get the steal, but he forced an 8-second violation. In my opinion, if that's just one guy who made that turnover, forced that turnover, count that as a steal, or count that as whatever statistic that should be counted.
14 turnovers right now already for the Formosa Dreamers.
And that's why, to some extent, Saigon can afford misses like those because they get the ball back anyway. Not this time, though, as Tevin Glass makes sure that they get 2 points.
That's something we've not seen pretty much the entire first half. Tevin Glass getting all the way to the top.
Bernatowski forcing it, drawing the foul. It will be 2 free throws for the Canadian.
Now there you see the basketball smarts of Murphy Bernatowski. Basket on the other end. Does not try to answer with a quick 3-point shot. Instead, takes it strong, draws the foul against the Dreamers.
Look at him just body up and kind of went for the contact with the arms of Will Artino, and that's why he's at the free throw line scoring. Looking to up the lead to 10 points. Ken Lei looking on. hasn't really been a factor in this game in his return. Bernatowski pushing 8 points.
And up to now, the Dreamers have yet to hit double digits here in the second quarter. Only 9 points for them with about 2.5 minutes remaining.
Chen looking to orchestrate. Now it's Cheng Wei. Gets nearer, the leaner doesn't get the bounce.
And they're going to give him that shot the entire afternoon. Talking about Cheng Wei. 2-3 zone that time for the red shirts.
Hughes again with that in and out dribble. Hamilton, the extra pass. Young, he hit one from that side earlier. This time it's a miss.
But again, that was an open shot on the part of Justin Young. Good ball movement, good extra pass on the part of Hamilton.
Well, right now, the rebounding advantage of Formosa is good. They are up by 8 rebounds, but they also have 11 more turnovers. So the possessions that they gain, they throw them away anyway. However, Hamilton just a half second too late on that block attempt. Shot will count for Miller.
You know, I like the ploy of the Dreamers right now, trying to focus on attacking the basket instead of settling for outside shots.
And you know, again, as successful as Saigon has been outscoring the Dreamers by 8 points here in the second quarter, it is just an 8-point lead, something that we know in basketball is not that difficult.
That's just 3 possessions.
Especially with how great, like you said, a 3-point shooting team Formosa is. Saigon inbound to Hamilton. Looking to go one-on-one. Involved squad. Back to Hamilton, 2-man game. Stopped by Will Artino.
Artino showing us that he too can play defense on the inside against Hamilton.
75 seconds remaining in the first half. Good block stop by Bernatowski. Hughes looking to go. He's been frustrated by the defense of Cheng Wei.
That was a solid stop there on the part of Cheng Wei. You would think that with his ball handling skills, Trayvon Hughes would be able to quickly get separation, but that time Cheng Wei was up to the task.
How do you defend someone who's very good with handles? Because of course in your head too, you don't want to get crossed over and put on the bad end of a highlight.
You know, I think sometimes it's really impossible to defend, to stop somebody like Trayvon Hughes. Sometimes you just have to try to stay in front, be physical on him a bit. Like you rely a lot on the help side defense to try to avert him from getting a straight line to the basket.
5 seconds remaining on the shot clock. Miller settles for a 3 and misses. Tran running, tried to get it to Hamilton. Not the best inside pass there. Display of strength from D'Angelo Hamilton. I don't think they can stop the play. Both teams saying that there's a wet spot on the floor. Hughes again with a crossover, just not getting that high looping shot. 8 seconds remaining. Formosa. Cheng Wei attacking, gets fouled. And that is what happens when you put your head down and just attack strong.
And also that's what happens when you have the ability to shoot from the outside. You force the defense to come out hard, gives you the ability to put the ball down on the floor and then get a foul. So good heads-up play there from Cheng Wei.
You know, Cheng hasn't really had that much success from the field, but I like the guts in this guy. He just keeps on attacking, and attacking.
Only averages about 3 to 4 points per ball game.
And only plays about 8 minutes and 40 seconds. He, in this game already, has played 8.5. He's getting the nod from Coach Dean Murray today. Gets 2 for 2 at the line. 2 seconds remaining. Can Saigon score? Bernatowski, almost. At the end of the first half, it's the Saigon Heat, the visitors, still up by 6 points, and that's largely because of the takeover of Trayvon Hughes. 14 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists, and 4 steals in the first half alone. But right now it's time for the Formosa Dreamers to walk back to their dugout, recalibrate their attack, and come out and try to mount a comeback in the second half.
访问到 Dear Mori 教练 Head Coach Dreamers had 14 turnovers in first half. Can you talk about it?
Yeah, I mean, we knew coming in that this team is a very good defensive team, and they're playing tough defense on us, and we just got to adjust to it.
Okay, talk about the Hughes in first half. Especially he had 4 steals.
Yeah, I mean, he's one of the best players in the league. And we game plan around him, so we just got to do a better job of containing him, and he's playing really good defense.
Okay, thank you, Coach. 好，那么 Dear Mori 教练第一个问题其实谈到了，在上半场，宝岛梦想家出现了14次的失误。那么受制于 Dear Mori 教练是表示说，受制于西贡热火队的一个防守的压迫度，在下半场必须要做出一个更好的改变，才有机会慢慢的追进比数。那么再来就是 Hughes 这名球员4次的抄截，其实也对于宝岛梦想家的进攻出现非常大的一个麻烦，所以在下半场必须要做出更大的一个改变。好，这时候也请观众朋友稍微休息一下，再回到 Eleven Sports。
我们就是跟爸爸妈妈、跟弟弟妹妹。
It's halftime inside the Changhua County Stadium in Changhua City, Taiwan, and the Formosa Dreamers are down currently against the Saigon Heat, 39-33. Thank you for joining us for ABL Season 9 Rise to Greatness. Judge Sulit and Marco Benitez here. That man did a lot in the first half. 14 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists, and 4 steals. to give the Saigon Heat the lead so far. Up by 6 here as we begin the third quarter, Marco.
And in that first half, we really saw how you could say rusty the Dreamers are, because they're a team that does not normally make a lot of mistakes, especially on the offensive end, but they allowed the Saigon Heat to get 9 steals. They committed 14 turnovers in that game, and as a team they only averaged less than 20 turnovers per ball game, so very uncharacteristic of them. So despite their advantage in terms of rebounding, it was offset by the number of steals or the number of possessions they gave up to the Saigon Heat.
What was something they did positively though? What's a reason why they are only down by, well, now it's 8 after that Bernatowski shot?
Well, I think one of the things that they did positively was take control of the basket of the boards. 25 rebounds for them, so also did not allow the Saigon Heat to get second chance opportunities. So that is one thing that they limited on the part of the Saigon Heat. If they gave them a lot of second chance opportunities, it would probably be a much bigger margin for the Heat.
It could be a problem for Saigon too if Malcolm Miller could start going, open up the game with 5 straight misses. Now he's 3 for 11. Still not a good clip, especially for the leading scorer of the Dreamers. Justin Young takes it strong to the basket.
And also, whenever you allow somebody like Justin Young, who's not really known for his scoring, to get a straight line to the basket, that tells you that your defense is a little bit lacking.
Glass misses on that short attempt.
One guy who has not been a factor so far, Lee Shui Lin, has been quiet so far for the Dreamers.
That's why he was replaced early by Chen Xin-yen. Now Coach Dean Murray giving Lee Shui Lin another chance here. Remember that one of the biggest wins they had here in this gym against Alab Pilipinas. Yes. It was a Lee game winner that gave them that. It also came on his birthday, actually.
And you know, in their past meeting last December, Saigon really gave them a hard time for overtiming that game that was played at CIS Arena in Ho Chi Minh, as Bernatowski gets another rebound.
He was just really patient there.
First pair of second chance points, actually, for the Saigon Heat.
Lee guarded by Tran. Lee getting away. Glass, mid-range J. Still nothing. Tevin Glass. Also not the kindness of afternoons for him. Tran from outside. It's short.
That was a wide open shot there for Tran, as Kayvon Hughes so good at handling the basketball in traffic.
And that shot falls in. Will it count though?
Let's see what the referee signals. Yes, it's going to count.
The basket, yeah.
Presence of mind there on the part of Will Artino.
I like that seal. It was. Is there something called a reverse seal?
Yeah, that's a reverse seal. Because Hamilton has been giving him such a hard time, especially in that first half. Will Artino trying to outsmart his defender that time with a reverse seal and a nice entry pass.
However, that's the second three-point play opportunity that they weren't able to capitalize on. The first one earlier from Kenny Chen.
That's one thing that Artino rather has struggled at, is free throw shooting. Only shooting about 65%.
Hamilton takes it. Puts that ball on the floor and draws the foul on Artino.
And Artino has to be careful here. He has really complained a lot to the referee, that time asking for an offensive foul from Hamilton.
Yeah, you see it with what he's gesturing, saying that Hamilton lowered his shoulder.
Hamilton has given a great account of himself here today, replacing Kyle Barone. Second leading scorer right now for the Saigon Heat.
And that's exactly what Calvaron was for the Heat. He was their second leading scorer, only behind Trayvon Hughes. Miller looking for Artino. They like this matchup with Bernatowski on him instead of Hamilton. So there's Artino, flips it up, foul called. That's going to be 2 free throws for Will.
And Artino looking to be more aggressive here. I like how Formosa, after recognizing that switch, enters the ball into Artino so that he can take it strong against Bernatowski.
Frustration starting to flare up here, and that's why warnings are being given. Referee now talking to Artino. I think there was a nudge from Bernatowski after the whistle had been blown. Or, you know, it could have been just bump, inadvertent.
Friendly bump.
Yeah.
Between two big men.
Look at the free throw shooting of Artino, though. That's his first make in this game. 1 for 4. And every time there's a chance, it seems like Trayvon Hughes and the rest of the Saigon Heat imports a bit of some murmur towards Bernatowski. But that's also the game of basketball. It's much more than the physical aspect of it.
A lot of mind games. Especially, you know, physical contests such as this, where Saigon has not been able to break the game wide open. That's a nice steal from behind from Kenny Chen.
That was all about effort as he really chased Hughes from behind. Miller not getting the three, though.
Would have been a momentum shifter there had Miller gotten that three-point shot.
Bernatowski too strong. Great defense for Miller. Just sacrificing his body. Tevin Glass, ball off of his foot, and it's going to go back to Saigon. It has been that kind of afternoon for the Formosa Dreamers.
Breaks of the game not going their way that time. Would have been easy 2 points from Tevin Glass. Instead, it bounces off his foot.
Tran trying to leave it off to Hamilton.
How about that pass coming from Quatran? That was right in front of us, straight to that midsection of D'Angelo Hamilton.
And, you know, in a lot of situations, that wouldn't have been ideal because it would have been hard for Hamilton to go up with it. But it turned out to be a blessing in disguise as Hamilton gets fouled and finds himself at the line.
And D'Angelo Hamilton right now, 4 of 8 from the field. 2 of 6 from the stripe, make that 3 of 7 from the stripe to go along with 8 rebounds, an assist, 2 steals, and a block.
An all-around performance for the big man.
And he and Bernatowski have not seen any rest at all. Played every single minute of this game.
And it's impressive too, because remember the last time we saw Hamilton, he was filling in the role that was vacated by Trayvon Hughes. Now it's the role that is left open by Calderon, opposite ends of the spectrum, but he remains very effective. A miss from outside for the Heat. Their lead is at 9. Formosa trying to trim that deficit. Malcolm Miller does so.
And that's going to be a warning on Malcolm Miller for delaying the game. You know, frustration as well from Malcolm Miller. Yes, his points have come few and far between. Only 9 or 11 points right now for the leading scorer of the Dreamers.
Tran now setting up the play for the Heat. Hamilton providing the pick, the staggered, the second one by Young. Tran puts it up, money on the three.
Something Malcolm Miller did not expect. It was way outside, a couple of 2 steps away from the three-point line.
Kenny Chen, impressive lay-in. Not the result he wanted. How about Miller? The dance, the shot, no good.
And again, no second chance opportunities for the Formosa Dreamers.
There's very little flow in their offense right now.
After that initial ball screen, quick attempt as Bernatowski again takes advantage of the mismatch down low.
That's going to be a timeout requested by the Formosa Dreamers as the Heat built another 12-point advantage. Lots of action happened here. There have been highlights for Formosa, but it's still the Saigon Heat putting their foot on the gas pedal. You're back with us in Season 9 of the ABL. Formosa versus Saigon here in Taiwan. This is the first of 2 ABL games you can watch today. The second one will be later, happening in Indonesia. The CLS Knights take on the visiting Mono Vampire. Foul as Hughes tried to get that basketball from behind.
And you get the sense that the Dreamers are a little bit careless, more than usual in this ball game, because you saw there Quatran almost getting a steal, and Trayvon Hughes as well almost getting a steal.
And Marco, 15 turnovers that Saigon has forced Formosa to commit. Obviously impressive. Artino there getting the deuce on the hook shot, but also equally impressive is how Saigon has limited themselves to just 4 errors.
Just 4 errors for them while getting 9 steals. So execution-wise, Saigon has gotten the better of this Dreamer squad.
Bernatowski asked for the pick. Jumper well defended. Chen attacking. Kenny Chen, acrobatic attack.
And again, finishing with the left hand in the open court, that time against Trayvon Hughes.
Deficit down to 8. Chen has 9 points. Here's Hughes. Has been quite silent here in the third quarter. Hasn't scored yet. Hamilton loses it.
And, you know, that was a good recovery there on the part of Will Artino. Quick timeout here for Coach Kyle Julius. Does not like what he sees.
3:35 remaining in the third period. Saigon Heat, their lead down to 8 as Kenny Chen making some strides here, finishing with that impressive lefty lay-in.
Run one down here. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Let's go, team on 3. 1, 2, 3, team.
The Formosa Dreamers trying to mount a comeback here in the third quarter. It was in the second period where they kind of fell behind as they were outscored 19-13 in that second. Here in the third, they still have been outscored by 2 points, but over the last few sequences, Marco, they have done a lot of positives.
Yeah, quick 4-0 blast here on the part of the Dreamers. You know, a basket here could change the complexion and really swing the momentum to the side of the home squad.
Artino, they've been playing their offense through him. Here's Miller, 4 of 14 from the field. We go back to Artino. That's the matchup they want, but the steal taken away by Hamilton. And Hamilton will lose possession. Will lose control, but referees say it will stay with the Saigon Heat.
And again, how about the quick hands on the part of Bernatowski, swiping it or deflecting it away from Will Artino.
Really, the defense of Saigon, even if they're not getting as many assists, as many steals rather, as they did in the first half, they're still stopping the Formosa Dreamers in a lot of their offensive attacks.
Tough shot there on the part of Trayvon Hughes, but again, Justin Young just doing enough, tapping the ball out.
Tran attacking baseline. Young floats it over Miller.
What a positive contribution Justin Young has done for the Saigon Heat so far today.
I honestly thought Quatran stepped along the baseline though, and that's exactly what Artino was asking the referee.
That's going to be a foul on Justin Young. And, you know, this matchup has not been exploited by Tevin Glass enough.
That's right. And you see that foot.
Yeah, you're right, Judd.
But it still counts as 2 points. That bucket cannot be reversed now. Tevin Glass will have the opportunity to get it back, though, get those points back.
Chris Durker making his way into the game in place of Justin Young.
You feel that that's a matchup, Marco, that Formosa can capitalize on?
Well, if Justin Young had stayed on the floor, that's a matchup definitely Tevin Glass can capitalize on. But Coach Kyle G is quick to realize that, reinserts Durker right away.
It was also Young's third foul. Durker with a pair of fouls as well. Quatran, 8 seconds on the shot clock. Tran finds Hamilton, what a pass! Sets up that jam.
That's a beautiful dish there on the part of Quatran. In traffic, drew 2 defenders, including Artino, and finds the open man in Hamilton.
And that's the second consecutive sequence that he did that. Thread the baseline and then set up a teammate for a dunk, for an easy dunk. The first time was a lane from Young.
Yeah, and that's something that the young point guards have to learn, to keep your dribble alive, even if you get inside the paint.
That's also a very fantastic find. Chen Xin-Yen lobbing it up to Artino.
No look pass there from Chen Xin-Yen, and that is the reason why he has gotten most of the playing time at the point guard spot in place of Lisho Lin.
Again, Tran now losing that basketball to the sideline.
And a perfect turnover there on the part of Quatran.
This was the lob of Chen Xin-Yen. I like how Artino was not too fancy with it. All he had to do to get 2 points was what he did. Ball stripped away.
But you know, that turnover of Quatran, only the 6th turnover of the game for the Saigon Heat. So they've done a great job of limiting their mistakes, while Formosa Dreamers, 16 turnovers already.
You saw that good pass also that he made for Hamilton. How about Chen? An assist earlier, now a bucket. Brings the Dreamers within 6.
So steady at that point guard spot is Chen Xin-Yen.
Hughes restores order to the Saigon Heat.
Nonchalantly pulls up for that 18-footer, Trayvon Hughes.
Miller making his way to the basket, had to kick it out. 48 seconds remaining in the third. Glass draws the foul there.
That's a duty foul there on the part of Quatran. Strong drive to the right by Tevin Glass. Nothing that Tran could do.
That will be the third foul on Quatran. He also has been a contributor. 6 assists on top of 5 points and 4 rebounds. And in a rare occasion that an import is not a best player of a Saigon win, it was Quatran who was named best player in one of their wins.
He has shown us the ability to score whenever he puts his mind to it. He has just the right amount of flair as well as steadiness at the point guard spot. You know, one thing that has been lacking from the Dreamers this afternoon is their three-point shooting. They normally average about 23 three-point attempts per game.
Bernatowski recovers. They go back to Hamilton, turn around, the fadeaway. Would have been impressive. And now the Dreamers have a chance to get closer. Chen against the much younger Quatran. 10 on the 24 for Formosa. Chen now bumping in, hit the corner of the glass. Quatran goes to Durker, who slams it home!
Another positive contribution from Quatran. Great assist in transition, right in the nick of time.
Durker just put Glass on a poster, and that was a buzzer-beating dunk too. A lot of those highlights, and passing was put on a premium by both teams here in the third quarter, but at the end of it, it's so Saigon who reigns supreme. They are now up by 9 points, 61-52. The fourth quarter in just a bit. 10 more minutes of basketball action coming to you from Changhua, and the home team, the Formosa Dreamers, still down by 9 points. For a while in that third quarter, Marco, it really looked like the Dreamers were going to climb back and make a ball game out of this. But Saigon, one thing they have done throughout this game is take a post.
That's right. That's a great point, Judd. They threatened coming as close as 7 or 5 points. But again, as you mentioned, Saigon Heat just doing enough to keep the Dreamers at bay. And they get a positive play coming from Quatron. Of course, Chris Durger with an exclamation point to end the third quarter.
Saigon, they could not respond to that initial basket from Formosa. Glass wants it against Durker. Cheng Wei bumps in to Chen Xinyan. Good ball movement. Does it result to a bucket? Not this time.
And you know, one thing that I'm actually surprised with is that Woo Sung Wei has not seen any action in this game. It's been Cheng Wei who has seen most of the action on the part of the locals. Here's that jump shot once again from Tevin Glass. You know, last season, Woo Sung Wei was the #1 guy off the bench for the Formosa Dreamers.
That's right. Hasn't played a single second in this match. Durker gets blocked by Artino. They could not save that basketball. Artino has had enough. Durker has had 2 dunks in the game. Will Artino is pumped up and he brings this entire arena with him.
Let's see if that changes the complexion of the game for Will Artino. That really got him pumped. Is a clean block up top.
Cheng against Quatran, who deserves a mention after a spectacular third quarter for him. Hamilton does enough to fend off the defense, gets the lay-in.
Again, another turnover resulting in 2 points on the opposite end. 22 turnover points right now for the Heat.
Artino, he's feeling it, that's for sure.
Trying to put the team on his shoulders is Will Artino. Good drop step to the baseline, strong attack, and getting the foul as well on D'Angelo Hamilton.
Artino with a chance to trim the deficit down to just 6 points. And again, I'm still amazed at how little this lead is, despite how great the defense of Saigon has been. And I'm left to imagine at this point, Marco, the Saigon Heat has had 12 steals already in this game. And if that was just cut to half, then maybe it's Formosa with the lead right now.
Would be lead. That's why if I'm Kyle Julius, I'm nervous in my pants right now because Formosa Dreamers, you know, the #2 team in the league. They're the #1 team in terms of 3-point shooting. So it just takes a spark for them that they can get back in this game in a hurry.
Glass arrows in, loses control. Bernatowski gets a rebound, sends it out to Quatran, who loses the possession.
Again, the Formosa Dreamers dodging another bullet there, another turnover. But Quatron wasting that possession.
Well, usually Quatron has someone who's running side by side with him. That's the reason why he has 7 assists already. He usually has someone to set up. That time he was alone.
I guess Li Shui Lin.
Miller to Glass now. 8 minutes and change left in the game. Lee, nothing felt from him yet. Glass will take it from outside. That's short. Trayvon Hughes jumps in the middle of all those threes. Bernatowski a 3.
Again,
no good.
Dodging a bullet are the Dreamers. You know, Li Shui Lin has been very tentative here. Even offensively, he has not looked for his shot this entire ball game.
That will be another foul whistled on the Saigon Heat. It will be their 3rd in the 4th quarter. They gotta be careful because another thing that could bring Formosa back in this game is if Saigon enters penalty initially. And with how aggressive Formosa can play,
that's right.
They can really capitalize on that.
They're a respectable shooting team. They're actually 72% from the free throw line, but that's gonna be another miss.
However, it turns out to be 2 points. Good tap out from Tevin Glass.
That's a lucky break there on the part of the Dreamers, but Coach Dean Murray will take it at this point.
Only the first 2 points of Lee Shui Lin.
5-point ball game right now.
Hughes. Now it's Bernatowski. Getting to his spot. Trayvon. Was top. Formosa with a golden opportunity here. Tevin Glass will be fouled.
That's going to be a duty foul there on the part of Trayvon Hughes. So a couple of empty possessions for the Heat have allowed the Dreamers to claw back into this game.
Tevin Glass just attacking the defense, and you're right, Trayvon Hughes, well, it was a pretty smart foul on his end.
He's actually lucky that the referee did not call an unsportsmanlike foul because he used his body. It was a little bit of a body check there on Tevin Glass.
I like how you mentioned the phrase dodge the bullet numerous times here in the fourth quarter, because there have been so many opportunities for the Saigon Heat as early as now to maybe stomp on the Formosa Dreamers and take a bit of that fight out of them. But with them missing those opportunities, Formosa needs to make the most of those.
Yep, and you know, that's at least 2 open looks for Bernatowski from the 3-point line. He's shooting 2 out of 9 right now.
And that transition attack also from Kuala that he lost control. Hamilton leaves it up for Bernatowski. Another assist for the Heat.
Finally making sure the basket is Bernatowski. 16 points right now. A nice drop pass coming from Hamilton.
And Hamilton has really provided very well for his team.
And the absence of Kyle Barone really stepped up. He has seen every minute on the floor in this game.
Hughes takes that pick, jumper no good, but it bounced back to the hands of the Saigon Heat. Glass makes that swipe at that basketball. It will stay with Saigon with 12 seconds remaining on their shot clock. Exactly 6 minutes remain in this game. Leon Bernatowski gets the steal. Lee Shui Lin getting sneaky with it.
That's a better point guard for you on the part of Lee Shui Lin.
Miller was pushed from behind, and that will mean 2 fouls, 2 free throws already for Malcolm Miller. That's what we were talking about. Saigon enters penalty with 5:48 remaining.
And you know, the Dreamers have yet to commit a foul here in the fourth quarter, so you could say the Dreamers have the advantage, have the momentum on their side.
There are times too, though, Marco, that late in the game when you're a trailing team and now and suddenly with, let's say, half a minute remaining, you need to send the opposing team to the free throw line. You want that foul count up. Yep. Do you intentionally commit fouls at some point to put yourself in a situation like that?
As long as it's not in transition where you're called for an unsportsmanlike foul, you would want your team foul situation to be probably in that 2 or 3 foul range, especially in the end game.
Miller almost there for that 3. And Formosa almost got another opportunity. You know, still, the Dreamers have been controlling the glass, but they have, in the fourth quarter, we've seen them grab at least 3 offensive rebounds, which they failed to translate into second chance points.
Yeah, it's been frustrating for Malcolm Miller, especially from the outside. He's only connected with 1 triple in this game so far.
Hughes. Pass deflected. Hamilton takes it. Stepping on the sideline. Second good defensive stop forced by Lee Shui Lin.
We talked about how Saigon has done a great job limiting their turnovers in this game. Prior to the fourth quarter, they only had 6 turnovers, but that's 3 quick turnovers already here in the fourth. And that's a clear call there on the part of the referee.
But I like the patience that the referee showed there, because he initially was tiptoeing, not stepping on the line.
Waited for him to plant the heel.
Yeah, but he eventually did. And look at that, Tevin Glass.
It's now. Just a single possession game for the Dreamers.
Glass had something to say to Coach Cal Julius too. Oh, a burst of speed to the basket.
How many times has Quatron probed the defense, finally going strong to the hole?
Tran gets called for a foul again. That will mean 2 free throws for the Formosa Dreamers.
And he's got to be careful as referee Glenn Cornelio from the Philippines almost teed him up.
Oh, I'm sure to some extent the Saigon Heat also feeling the pressure now as the Dreamers make their climb back into this game. 67-62, Saigon's lead down to 5 with 4:44 remaining in this game. Fans here inside the Changhua Stadium, they used to be very anxious earlier. Now they're more nervous as the Formosa Dreamers looking to complete what they hope to be a comeback win here. And again, the last time that Formosa played, they're coming off a win, but that was way back 3 weeks ago.
And you know, it was that win was a complete contrast to this game that they're playing right now. Against the Macau Black Bears, it was a very high-scoring ball game, above 100 points. Right now, we're at 62 points and 67 points for the Dreamers and Heat respectively. And I think in that game, it was the Dreamers who had 69 points at the half. And we have 4 and 44 remaining here in the fourth quarter. So a complete opposite in terms of the style of play that they've showed here today.
Did you feel at any point that the pace shifted? We started out very fast-paced.
Yeah.
Did it shift?
I think after the halftime, it was more of a grinded out win, especially here in the fourth quarter where the Saigon Heat have only scored 6 points in the fourth quarter, while the Dreamers already with 12.
Hughes could not get it. Bernatowski trying to take that ball away from Miller. Couldn't do so.
The Dreamers also have done a better job taking care of the basketball. Only 1 turnover so far here in the fourth quarter.
67-64. A 3 could tie the game up. Artino sees Bernatowski. Murphy takes it away from him.
Again, the quick hands of Murphy Bernatowski. 4 steals in the game right now.
Patran. They're moving it. Young bumps into Miller. That's going to be an offensive foul.
Malcolm Miller sacrificing his body straight in the solar plexus there.
And that will be the 4th foul on Young.
Chance for the Dreamers to trim the lead down to 1 or even tie it with a triple.
That wasn't a difficult call to make for our referees. Young lowered his shoulder, and even after the collision, you'd see that left arm kind of flare out.
Big possession right now.
Malcolm Miller. His family supporting him out here. Lee to Miller. Now it's with Glass. Almost lost it. Artino left with 7 seconds. Looking to go against Hamilton. Artino puts it up. Misses. Hughes gets the rebound. Not the best of shots for Formosa.
Solid defense there on the part of D'Angelo Hamilton, but that's a quick foul, easy foul there to call. part of Lee Shui-lin.
He was upset, looking for much more than a regular foul. Felt like he was body checked. He went flying towards the bench of the Saigon Heat.
But you see how well Trayvon Hughes is built as compared to Lee Shui-lin. I don't think man-to-man, Lee has the strength to push Trayvon Hughes that far out of the court.
And in basketball, you're gonna try to get as much advantage as you can. If it means selling a call, then so be it. Hamilton barrels it out to Hughes. Takes the three. He's missed on his last 3 attempts from deep.
He was stroking it in the first half of the game, but here the second half, he has come out empty. It's Trayvon Hughes.
Martino puts the ball on the floor. Flips it up, no good.
Another solid defensive stop from D'Angelo Hamilton.
Hughes to the basket. Stop there. Bernatowski left open. Money on the three.
Finally connecting on a triple is Murphy Bernatowski, only his 3rd in this game.
And he extends the Saigon lead to 6, 70-64. Bernatowski had been silent for a while, but you cannot leave that man that open.
And then we got nothing. Just go set a screen and let him go. Then you can pop. All we're getting at the end is a little bit of isolation right here. Hey, let's come right here and run chin. Run chin. Okay, let's go. Let's go. Team on 3. 1, 2, 3. Team.
The Formosa Dreamers have gotten back in the game, but the story continues, Marco. Them threatening to tie the game, maybe take the lead, but Saigon saying, nope, not yet.
But you know, if you give Bernatowski, the 2nd best 3-point shooter in the league, enough open looks, he's definitely going to make one. So gives them a little bit of separation here in the 4th.
7th class, nothing there. And what's left for Formosa is a lot of just isolation, one-on-one basketball.
And that's exactly what Coach Dean Murray pointed out in that timeout. Too many isolation plays for them.
Hamilton had last touch on that basketball. Saigon looking for a foul whistle.
And you know, D'Angelo Hamilton has really played heads-up defense against Will Artino. Has really given the Saigon Heat a lot of the toughness that they've needed here, playing away from home.
You know, for Saigon, so many times they've lost possession. They lost possession, but they got it right back.
They're able to recover.
And it's really incredible defense that has pushed them ahead by 6 late in this game. It's also the reason why, even though Formosa has done good things to make sure they're still within striking distance, they cannot really, you know, even up the count or get the advantage for themselves.
We talked about in one of the timeouts how Saigon Heat revamped their entire lineup going into this season, and it has resulted in more composure, better, more mature play for them. And the imports have really complemented each other. Talking about Trayvon Hughes, Bernatowski, and now D'Angelo Hamilton, giving them a more defensive-oriented squad.
And Lee lost control and just gave up. Went straight to complaining to the referee, and that cost him.
That's a frustration on the part of Lee Shui-lin as Quatron has gotten his number.
Lee converts from deep.
And continues to talk to the referee, asking for a foul once again.
5-point advantage, Saigon Heat. Hughes says, let's relax. Hughes gets blocked there.
Could have gotten away with a double dribble there to Trayvon Hughes.
He definitely did. Artino gets it off the glass.
5 straight points for the Saigon Heat.
A minute and a half remaining. We have a thriller going down inside the Changhua County Stadium. 9 on the 24. Hamilton sets the pick. Hughes doesn't take it. Hamilton from outside, no!
Probably not the guy you'd want taking that shot at this point of the game, as Bernatowski and just hit a triple a couple of possessions ago.
Glass fouled on his way to the cup. That will mean 2 free throws for Tevin.
You could literally feel momentum shifting to the side of the home squad. Here's that triple coming from Lee Shui-Lin.
That was great response from him after losing the possession and giving up 2 points. And then Artino, unafraid, taking it to the heart of the defense of Saigon. Glass has been reliable at the free throw line. I'm quite surprised at how suddenly he's the leading scorer in the game for Formosa. He was quite silent in the first half.
And you know, if he makes his free throw, that's 7 unanswered points for the Formosa Dreamers.
Indeed it is. And the Dreamers within 1, less than a minute remaining in this game.
And this is the closest the Dreamers have come this entire second half.
Hughes staying patient. Lee on him. Hamilton bumps in. Doesn't get it. Artino being bothered. And that will be a foul on Tran. That will mean 2 free throws for Kenny Chin.
And all those fouls early in the quarter catching up with the Saigon Heat. And that's on Quatran. That's going to be his 5th personal foul. And he had played heads-up basketball this entire ball game. And now a Corey Cilia. That's a good call on the part of the referee. If it had been just a bump, probably would have let it go, but he went for a swipe.
You'll see his right arm.
Yes.
He made a play for that basketball. And Tran exits the game with 9 points, 5 rebounds, 7 assists, and 2 steals. Unfortunately, he will not be on the court for the final 31.5. Kenny Chen, pressure-packed freebies. He evens up the count.
What a time for the Formosa Dreamers to draw even. 31.5 seconds remaining. Chance for them to steal one here.
Chen misses. It's currently an 8-0 run for the Formosa Dreamers.
If I'm the Saigon Heat, I want either Trayvon Hughes or Bernatowski taking the shot in this possession.
There's about a 7-second difference between the shot clock and game clock. 6 on the shot clock. Hughes. The separation, the jumper, no good.
Tremendous box out there from Will Artino.
Oh, they give it up. Bernatowski and the basket. A costly error.
Very uncharacteristic of the Formosa Dreamers with the way they played this season, but in this game, turnovers really hurting them.
You'll see it here. Kenny Chen tried to give it up to Lee Shui-Lin, but Lee, he was actually alone, but he just couldn't handle that pass. And mind you, Marco, Formosa's only lost once in this arena. They missed that free throw to waste the time. And the Saigon Heat escape with a victory on the road here inside the Changhua County Stadium. What a thriller that was.
And that's the right word for it. They escape with a win because the Dreamers look poised to steal one from them. Could have gotten the lead in the last 30 seconds. A miss on the free throw line. And then that steal from Bernatowski to seal the win.
The Formosa Dreamers, hats off to those guys. They really fought hard, and that 8-0 run late in the game injected a lot of fear into the Saigon Heat, I'm sure. But the visitors stayed composed and they were able to get away with a 74-72 win. The game winner coming from Murphy Bernatowski, and he intentionally missed that free throw so they could waste the final 2 seconds. Bernatowski top scores for his team with 21 points, 4 rebounds, and 3 assists. Trayvon Hughes finishing with a double-double of 17 points, 11 rebounds, 6 assists.
And you talk about doing just